Hey everyone, welcome back to Economy Shown. I'm Ranu Das, your trusted mentor and guide for UGC-NET, CPET, and CUET preparation. And in our previous video, we explored the world of business cycle, inflation, and release curve, and many more, right? So today we are going to dive into one of the most critical topic in macroeconomics, that is ISLM curve and Mundell framing model. And these models are essential for understanding the interaction between interest rate, inflation, and economic growth. But don't worry, I have got a simple trick to help you remember this complex concept in just a second. Okay? This video I will break down into three parts. The first one is ISLM model, understanding the relationship between interest rate, income, and money market. And the second phase, we're going to understand and analyze the interaction between exchange rate and interest rate and economic growth through Mundell framing model. And in the last, I have a quick and easy trick to memorize these models forever. Fine. So without further ado, let's get started. ISLM model, also called Higgs-Hansen approach, because this model first given by J.R. Higgs in 1939 and then Alvin Hansen gave a extended version of this model in 1940. So I means investment and S means saving. So IS represent goods market equilibrium through investment and saving, and it was downward sloping from left to right like demand curve. Similarly, LM. L means liquidity and M means either money or market. So LM represents money market equilibrium through money demand and money supply, and it was upward sloping from left to right, yani positively sloped. And general equilibrium occur when IS and LM are intersect each other. Means we can also say when IS equals to LM, or when goods market and money market are in equilibrium, that point is called general equilibrium. And IS curve so investment saving is negative, and also it represents the negative relationship between rate of interest and income. So slope of the IS curve depends on the sensitiveness, like elasticity. Higher the elasticity of demand, flatter will be the IS curve. The second one is the size of multiplier, change in Y by change in I. So in our previous videos, we explored the concept of multiplier, a crucial tool for understanding economic growth and stimulus. For a quick refresh on the type and meaning of multiplier, check out the link in the I button. Fine. So basically, what it represents, the proportional change in the income resulting from a change in the investment. Fine. Change in income by change in investment. So more size of multiplier, flatter will be the IS curve. In this diagram, when the IS curve and the LM curve intersect each other, then the equilibrium level of interest rate and the equilibrium level of income determined. So this point is called the general equilibrium, where the goods market and the money market are in equilibrium. And one more thing, that is sensitiveness, is calculated through change in investment by change in rate of interest, or interest elasticity of investment, where if the rate of interest is decreased means investment increase, and if the investment decrease the rate of interest increase. They are negatively related. Fine. Next, shift in IS curve, or when the IS curve shift. When the IS curve shift rightward just because of reduction in saving. Example, when the tax rate is high, leading to reduced in saving and increase in consumption. Right? So in this diagram, the initial IS curve is IS and the new IS curve is I dash and S dash, which is rightward shifted. And the IS curve shift right, intersecting LM curve at the new equilibrium point E dash. Fine. So equilibrium income increase and equilibrium interest rate is also increased. Similarly, when the consumption is increased or the autonomous increase in investment or the physical expansion is the cause of rightward shift in IS curve. Leftward shift of IS curve. This happened due to increase in saving, decrease in consumption and decrease in autonomous investment. Like increase in saving, reduce disposable income spent on consumption. Decrease consumption means reduce aggregate demand and business respond to decrease in demand by investing less. So investment decrease as a result the IS curve shift leftward. Fine. So the equilibrium income decreases and also the interest rate decreases. When the interest rate is increased, it encourages people to saving more. As a result, the saving increases and the demand decreases, and so the investment also decreases, and the IS curve shift leftward. Basically, we can say that if there is rightward shift in any curve, then the x-axis component and the y-axis component is also rise. Here we take interest rate in the y-axis and income in the x-axis. LM curve, which is related to money supply and money demand. And money demand is related to rate of interest positively. Means if the money demand increases, the rate of interest also increases. And if the money demand decreases, the rate of interest decreases. And money supply related to income. Fine. So LM curve slopes upward from left to right. Rightward shift in LM curve is because the increase in money supply, decrease in demand for money, and as the money demand is related to interest rate positively, so the interest rate also decrease. And the central bank follow expansionary monetary policy. As a result, the money supply increase and the investment and consumption also rise. As a result, the LM curve shift rightward, and it happened when the government want to raise money supply for economic growth. So leftward shift in LM curve is due to decrease in money supply and increase in demand for money. So increase in demand for money also related to interest rate positively and increase in interest rate. And the central bank yani RBI in India follow contractionary monetary policy to check inflation. So to reduce money supply, RBI increased the rate of interest. As a result, the investment and consumption also reduced. So the LM curve shift leftward and the income decreases and the equilibrium interest rate increases in this diagram. And when the rightward shift, the equilibrium income increases and the equilibrium level of interest rate decreases. So for the shortcut, you can take the trick that rightward ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେ shift କରୁଛି ସେତେବେଳେ rate of interest decrease and income increase and लेफ्टवर्ड शिफ्ट जेतेବେଳେ rate of interest increase and income decrease. In case of IS curve, if the IS curve shift rightward means the rate of interest and the income will rise. And if the IS curve shift leftward, then the interest rate and income will reduce. Simultaneously change in ISLM curve. If the investment and money supply increase simultaneously, then the ISLM curve shift rightward with rate of interest same. It happened when the government or the central bank want to stimulate economic growth. Then they follow the expansionary fiscal and monetary policy. As a result, the IS and LM curve shift rightward. Similarly, when the IS curve is leftward shift and the LM curve is leftward shift, then the central bank follow contractionary fiscal monetary policy and the government follow contractionary fiscal policy to check inflation. Then if the IS curve is rightward shift but the LM curve is leftward shift, then the expansionary fiscal policy and the contractionary monetary policy to create potential for inflation and it affect equilibrium income ambiguously and increase the equilibrium interest rate as well. And if there is leftward shift in IS and rightward shift in LM, means contractionary fiscal policy and expansionary monetary policy. It affects the equilibrium income by reduced equilibrium interest rate and potential for deflation, means to increase inflation. As a result, the equilibrium level of income rise and the equilibrium level of interest rate will decrease and it was potential for deflation. Fine. And if we take the example, then 2008 global financial crisis is the example of rightward shift of ISLM curve when the government follow expansionary fiscal policy and the central bank follow expansionary monetary policy. And in 1980s, US economy boom is the example of rightward shift in IS and leftward shift in LM curve when the expansionary fiscal policy is followed by government and the contractionary monetary policy followed by the central bank of USA. Next, slope of ISLM curve and their effectiveness of monetary policy. When the LM curve is steeper and IS curve is flatter, the monetary policy is more effective. And when the LM curve is flatter and the IS curve is steeper, then the monetary policy is less effective. What is the meaning of steeper and flatter? Flatter means less slope and steeper means more slope. If we take the example of elasticity of demand, then when the elasticity of demand is more elastic then or more than one, then it was flatter, and when it was less than one, then it was steeper. Or we can say when the elasticity of demand is perfectly elastic, means infinite, then the curve is flatter. And when the elasticity of demand is perfectly inelastic and vertical, then that was steeper. And here we study about the monetary policy, right? So monetary policy related to LM. And when LM is steeper, means it is more effective, and flatter means it was less effective. In the context of ISLM curve, less interest rate, flatter and steeper in relation to the hero and villain fighting abilities. If the hero yani LM became flat in during the battle, then the monetary policy is less effective. And if the hero yani LM is steeper during the battle, then it was more effective. Fine. And vertical, horizontal. Vertical means what? More steeper. ठीक है. And horizontal means more flatter. So when the LM curve is more steeper, then highly effective. And when the LM curve is totally flat and horizontal, then the effectiveness is totally ineffective. So in case of monetary policy, you have to see the LM slope. Fine. And IS is the alternative, the inverse condition. Next, effectiveness of fiscal policy. So here, let's change the hero and villain. Here the hero is IS and the villain is LM. So if the hero, yani IS, is steeper, then the effectiveness is more. And if the IS is flatter during the battle, yani hero flat during the battle, then it was less effective. Clear? There are three ranges of ISLM curve based on the effectiveness of fiscal and monetary policy. The first one is Keynesian range, then intermediate range, then classical range. So in the diagram, the rate of interest is presented in the y-axis and income in the x-axis. So first A to B is Keynesian range, and then B to C is intermediate range, and after that the classical range. In Keynesian range, the LM curve perfectly elastic means LM curve is horizontal means flatter. So monetary policy is ineffective and fiscal policy is effective and no change in the income. LM curve is horizontal and IS curve is vertical. And the LM curve is flatter means the interest elasticity of money demand is elastic. And IS curve is flatter means interest elasticity of investment is elastic and vice versa. And Keynesian view, the assumptions are sticky price and wages, less than full employment and underemployment, and animal spirit and uncertainty. Fine. And the policy if implication is fiscal policy is effective and monetary policy is ineffective. And government intervention are necessary. In the intermediate range, the IS curve is moderate slope and interest elastic investment, and LM curve is moderately slope and the interest elastic money demand. And the policy implication is fiscal policy is somehow effective and the monetary policy is some to extent uh, effective, and the government intervention are occasionally happened necessary. Fine. So next, classical view. Classical view, the LM curve perfectly inelastic. Perfectly inelastic means the LM curve is vertical, and LM curve is vertical means IS curve is horizontal. So the monetary policy is highly effective means no change in the rate of interest, and the fiscal policy is not effective. So in classical view, the assumptions are perfectly flexible price and wages, full employment, says law, which say supply creates its own demand, and that's it. And market force are self-corrected. Uh, Fine, because laissez-faire policy and the monetary policy effectiveness more effective in Keynesian range, then intermediate range, then classical range. Fine. Classical range is started from 1870s to 1941. 1930 Great Depression. After that, the Keynesian view take place, and the new deal was introduced about fiscal policy intervention, any government intervention, and it worked through 2008 to 9. Uh, After that, it expired because of the global financial crisis. And the intermediate range is in between the classical and the Keynesian. Fine. Where the monetary policy is moderately effective. Algebraic function of I score y equals to 1 by 1 minus c. So here c is MPC. So 1 by 1 minus MPC is the formula for investment multiplier, right? So investment multiplier, and C bar is autonomous consumption, and I dash is autonomous investment. BI is induced investment. So here minus sign means uh, negative slope, and positive sign means positive slope. So in case of I score, as it was negatively sloped, so the minus sign is in the equation. And LM curve, in case of LM curve, the slope is positive, so before the induced investment, the sign is positive. IS represent various combination of rate of interest and income, and also investment and saving. So towards the right of IS, saving is more than the investment, and towards the left, saving is less than the investment. And second one is IS has a negative slope, implying that an inverse relationship between rate of interest and income. If the rate of interest increase, the income decrease, and if the rate of interest decrease, the income increase. IS, you can also say that the all the locus equilibrium point in the goods market, and LM all the locus equilibrium point of money market. Let's understand the Mondel framing model, which was developed by Canadian economist Robert Mundell and British economist Marcus Fleming in 1960s. It was actually a critical topic for UGC-NET and most important. The model was developed to explain how a small open economy works and how it interacts with the global economy. And it was based on the Keynesian ISLM model and Keynesian range, but adjusted for capital flow and other shocks for the purpose of analyzing role of monetary and fiscal policy in the context of open economy. So this model is also called Keynesian open economy model. This approach shows relationship between two targets through monetary policy, interest rate, and fiscal policy by government expenditure. There is two objectives. They are full employment, internal balance, and the external balance, which is balance of payment equilibrium. Assumptions are open economy, small open economy, and export independent, and imports are positive function of income. Export are independent, but import are positive function of income means if import increases, income increases, and if import decreases, income decreases. And as we know, the approach is so the relationship between monetary policy related to rate of interest and fiscal policy related to government expenditure. and international capital movement respond to domestic interest rate changes. If the domestic interest rate increase, then the capital inflow happen. As a result, higher interest rate attract foreign investors seeking higher returns, so they are invest in our country. And if the domestic interest rate is decreased, then the lower interest rate discourages foreign investor leads to capital outflow. Let's understand the overall model. So, Mondal states that in countries where employment and balance of payment policy are restricted to monetary and fiscal instruments, monetary policy should be reserved for attaining the desired level of the balance of payment and fiscal policy for preserving internal stability under the condition assumed here. Means monetary policy reserve when balance of payment equilibrium happen. It is a external stability. And fiscal policy reserve means internal equilibrium through full employment. Got it? It basically shows how policy decision impact the exchange rate, trade, and economic growth. Fine. Simply formula, if we take economic equilibrium, then IS यानी domestic economy or goods market plus LM यानी money market plus BOP यानी balance of payment equals to economic equilibrium. Capital mobility. So it happened in two situations. One is fixed exchange rate system and second one is flexible exchange rate system. So in fixed exchange rate system, there is two policy. One is monetary and fiscal, and flexible same monetary and fiscal. And relative capital mobility have two exchange rate system. One is fixed, another is flexible. Similar in case of monetary and fiscal policy, both happen in fixed exchange rate and flexible exchange rate system. So these are diagram बनेଇବା ପାଇଁ ଆମର ଏତିକିଟା କଣ୍ଡିସନ୍ ଅଛି ଯେ ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ହେଉଛି ଫିକ୍ସଡ୍ ଏକ୍ସଚେଞ୍ଜ ରେଟ୍ ସିଷ୍ଟମ୍ ମନିଟେରୀ ପଲିସି ଇଫେକ୍ଟିଭନେସ୍ ଦେନ୍ ଫିକ୍ସଡ୍ ଏକ୍ସଚେଞ୍ଜ ରେଟ୍ ସିଷ୍ଟମ୍ ସରି fiscal policy effectiveness and etc. Okay, so on. Expenditure switching yani devaluation. Mundell framing model is one of the Mundell's theories, and another one is optimum currency area. So Mundell identify a condition for a single currency to be effective across multiple regions like dollar, right? So Mundell framing model framework is one, and another is optimum currency area. Fine. सो मॉडल फ्रेमिंग मॉडल ମୁଁ ବହୁତ ହି ବଡ଼ କରିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁନି ସो ମୁଁ ଜଷ୍ଟ ଠିକ୍ ସହିତ ହିଁ ପଢ଼େଇ ଦେଉଛି before going to the model framing model summary, let's understand what is fixed exchange rate and what is flexible exchange rate. So fixed exchange rate system is set by the central bank and the flexible exchange rate by the market free market force. And if the definition is a monetary system where the country's currency is pegged to another country's uh, currency or basket of currencies at a fixed exchange rate is called fixed exchange rate system, and is set by the central bank, whereas the flexible exchange rate system is a monetary system where a country's currency exchange rate is determined by the market force floating freely without central bank intervention. Fine. Key term you can remember: pegged fixed exchange rate system to another currency. Okay, float means allowing exchange rate to fluctuate. Fine. Or fixed exchange rate is an exchange rate that is fixed by the authority or the central bank, and flexible exchange rate an exchange rate that is determined by the market force. Got it? So in case of fixed exchange rate is set by the central bank, expansionary fiscal policy is more effective. Fine. How? Expansionary fixed exchange rate means the money supply is more, right? So LM curve is flatter. So LM curve is flatter means monetary policy is ineffective, and if the monetary policy is ineffective, then fiscal policy is more effective. Got it? Same. In case of fixed exchange rate, the monetary policy is not effective. When the fixed exchange rate, in case of contractionary monetary policy, then the fiscal policy is less effective and the monetary policy is more effective as the LM curve is steeper because the money supply is contract or reduced. Similarly, in case of expansionary flexible exchange rate system which was set by the government or the free market force, the fiscal policy is ineffective and the monetary policy is effective because to expand the economic growth, the government spend more. As a result, the interest rate drives up and which reduce the private investment. As a result, the IS curve became flatter, and if the IS curve and hero in case of flexible exchange rate system is flatter, that means it was ineffective. And when the fiscal policy is ineffective, the monetary policy is effective. Got it? As the central bank can adjust the interest rate to stimulate economy. That's for today, guys. Thanks for watching. And additionally, I'm excited to announce the launch of my Telegram channel where you will find over 150 standard economy books like Misrapuri, Uma Kapila, Dat Sundaram, and more. Indian economics and micro, macro, and all economy books. Okay, so class PDFs are also available, regular mock tests, personalized guidance, and job opportunity updates are also there. So join me on Telegram to brighten up your future. So link in the description box or the comment section. Please check it out and join me. And thanks for watching. I hope this video has been informative and helpful and that you are learned something new and the trick may be helpful for you. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe for more such contents. Thanks again for support and I will see you in the next video. That's